Google ranking but no clicks, what position 10 really means. Search Console says I averaged position 10.6 for this search. I had 2010 impressions and 0 clicks. So I Googled it. This is my own website, Bold Peak. I'm showing you my own numbers because this is exactly the kind of thing I want you to investigate if I saw it on a contractor's website. And if you're paying someone for SEO, this is also why I don't want you judging whether it's working based on one ranking number. Because the number isn't necessarily wrong, it is just not the whole story. So here's what I found. I filtered Google Search Console for the last 3 months. I limited to searches coming from the United States, and I looked specifically at the search, SEO Chelmsford. For that search, Google showed my site 2010 times. My average position was 10.6 and I got 0 clicks. Almost all of those impressions went to the page I actually wanted Google to show. My local SEO page for Chelmsford, Massachusetts received 1,993 of them. So that's actually useful information. Google is clearly connecting this page with that search. If I stop there though, I could look at position 10.6 and think I'm basically around page 1. Maybe I just need to move up a few positions, maybe. But before I start changing the page, rewriting the title, or deciding something is wrong, I want to see what somebody actually sees when they make that search. So I Googled it. And this is where the Search Console number starts to look very different. At the top of the results, Google gives me an AI overview. And right there, Google is trying to figure out which Chelmsford this search is even about. Chelmsford, Massachusetts, or Chelmsford, Essex in the UK. And that's important because I am targeting Chelmsford, Massachusetts. But the person only searched SEO Chelmsford. They did not include Massachusetts. Now, look at the rest of the search results. There are companies targeting Chelmsford, Massachusetts. There are also companies targeting Chelmsford in England. There's a People Also Ask section. There's a large business panel taking up a big part of the screen. There are more organic results, and eventually, farther down the page, there's Bold Peak. So, this is what average position 10.6 sounded like when I first saw it in Search Console. Pretty close to page 1, pretty close to getting seen. But this is what the person searching actually had in front of them. Those are not the same thing. And that's the part I think contractors need to pay attention to. Because let's say you're paying an SEO company every month. You get a report that says, hey, you're ranking on page 1. Great. But I will want to know more. What exact search are we talking about? What town? Which page is ranking? What does the search result actually look like? What's above us? And most importantly, are the right people actually clicking, calling, or contacting the business? Because ranking is not the business result. Impressions are not the business result. Traffic isn't even the business result if it's the wrong traffic. The goal is for the right customer to find you when they need the service you sell. In my case, I have 2010 impressions for this search and 0 clicks. That doesn't automatically mean that my page is bad. It doesn't mean automatically the title is bad. And it doesn't automatically tell me what I need to change. It tells me I need to further investigate. So what would I check next? First, I will look at the desktop and mobile separately. Those search results can look very different depending on the device. Then I will look at the searches that are more specific. For example, SEO Chelmsford, Mass. Adding Massachusetts removes some of the location confusion we're seeing here. I will also look at whether my ranking has improved or dropping during those 3 months. I will compare my results with the business above me. What are their titles saying? What type of pages are ranking? Are they local business, directories, individual consultants, or something else? I will also keep looking at the data before deciding what I should change. There is an important part of SEO that doesn't get talked about enough. You don't see one strange number and immediately start changing everything. You inspect it. You ask about what could be causing it. You look for more evidence. Then you test something and then you see what happened. That's how I approach this work. Because if I had looked at the 2010 impressions and 0 clicks and I immediately decided, hey, my title must be terrible, I could have changed the pages without understanding that what was actually happening in the search results. And I might have been fixing the wrong problem. So, if you own an HVAC company, a roofing company, plumbing business, electrical company, landscaping company, or any other business, don't only ask, what position am I ranking in? Ask, what does the customer actually see when they search? Because those aren't always the same story. And if someone is showing you an SEO report full of rankings and impressions, ask them what those numbers are actually producing for the business. Are the right people finding you? Are they visiting the website? Are they calling? Are they requesting quotes? That's the part that matters. If your business is showing up on Google, but you're still not getting the calls you expected, I offer a free ranking analysis. I look at where you're actually appearing, the areas you want to work in, and show you what I find. The link is in the description.